So if we look at these graphics here, there's two schools. There's one school of thought that is industry first, and everything kind of supports the industry. So this is kind of the old world, the legacy world that,
Yeah.
the 70s and 80s. The record label was at the center of the wheel, and the artist was an offshoot of that. The publisher was an offshoot of that. The touring was an offshoot of that, and the manager kind of was, answering to the record label. So this world is largely gone, right? And
For
this
the
is
most part.
what's replaced it now, where we
Yeah.
have the artist in the center of the wheel, and then the record label is a business unit of the artist, or the publisher is an offshoot of the artist. Touring is an arm of the artist, and the manager is answerable to the artist. So these two worlds, I mean, you really have to ask yourself which world are you operating in? An industry focused world or an artist focused world? So the old world has really been detrimental to artists, and the new world is really is both awesome and can be overwhelming at times. But when the
Yeah.
artist is the entrepreneur and the business owner of their business, it can be a fantastic, new era for artists. It is. I mean, we're seeing, I think it was like 70% of all Grammy artists are independent artist-owned labels.
Really?
So
I
we're
didn't know
seeing
that.
a big shift away from kind of the monolithic record label artists
Yeah.
into, the artist-owned world.
Yeah, and like the traditional record label artist does still exist nowadays, but just at a
Sure.
much smaller capacity. I feel like the record labels only have enough energy to put into the surefire things that the people that they know are superstar power.
Yeah.
And so anybody else who would be kind of those mid-level artists, they're not really taking on anymore. And
Yeah.
it's more up to them to, build a team around themselves and a roster of both business and musicians, just
Yeah.
anybody who can help them aggregate their music and even make their music and just make them better at making their art.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the idea. In the Hacking Music Accelerator, we talk about that kind of record labels as venture capital. Instead of thinking of, a record label is going to find you and put a lot of money into you. They want to find artists who are already doing it and that they can co-venture with. It's very much a joint venture model.
Yeah.
So you want to ask the question is, are you an artist people want to be in business with? And that's a real question that, healthy artists answer. It's like, am I doing stuff that people want to be in business with me? Or am I just kind of, wishful thinking, sitting on my stool, trying to get lucky kind of thing?
Yeah.
So you have to be out there building a real thing.
It's not enough anymore to just be really talented and charismatic. Because back in the 80s, 90s, you could just be a really talented, charismatic person and they would be like, you have something special and we need you and we will help develop you and make you into something. But nowadays, they can see that you have promise and they might keep an eye on you for a few years to see if you'll develop. But they're not.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's like we say it all the time. It's like you get a record label, you get a record deal when you don't need one.
Yeah.
When you've built a platform, you're touring, you've sold merch, you've got a business in place that's like, again, are you an artist people want to be in business with? Or are you just kind of hope is a strategy, kind of trying to win the lottery kind of artist?
I feel like a big decision artists have to make around that time is a lot of them end up making their own record labels and becoming a record label of their own because they are so 100%. Used to already doing all the business stuff. And they're like, well, why would I give away this money to a record label when I can already do it and I can help other artists do it instead? So a big mindset, well, maybe not change, but a big decision artists have to make is whether they want to stay at the level they're at and start branching out and nurturing other artists, or if they want to really try to catapult to that superstar level. And in that case, they would sign to a label and try to really.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with signing to a label. You know,
No,
you
exactly.
just have to know if you're entering into a joint venture with somebody, you know, you're bringing value to the table, right?
Yes.
And there's leverage there. It's like you're doing stuff that the label wants, and the label's doing stuff that you want. So you really kind of come at the relationship in a mature way. You know, you're not just signing away 30 records with a record label, right?
Mhm.
You're not desperate and destitute. You're coming at it with coherence and kind of a clear thinking, you know. So yeah, record joint ventures are kind of the new normal for
Yeah.
sure.
You're basically already a business, and you have to present yourself as a business instead of just as a musician who has this talent. You have to present yourself as like a
Yeah,
complete, okay, this is the breakdown of my business and how all the money is made and how, it's delegated and how I control everything and how this
hmm,
person does this. And yeah, just making sure
yeah.
that they see that you're professional and really trying to do things right.